What up, pimps? Another day, another Darktide gameplay, new build. I've been having a lot of fun with this one. It's my Ironbreaker Zealot build. I modeled it after Barden, specifically Ironbreaker Barden from Warhammer Vermintide 2. I really had a lot of fun with his like headshot weapons, so like the hammer and the pickaxe and stuff. So I kind of went with the Crusher for that reason. This is like a headshot centric weapon that like staggers and it's good versus heavy armor. So pick that. And then the Flamer, because I just think the Flamer is a really fun weapon. It's unique to the Zealot. It feels awesome to use. And also, I've kind of noticed, so I only thought that the Flamer was good at like suppressing hordes and like just kind of mowing through them. But also I noticed that it's really good for suppressing ranged enemies from like medium-ish range. You can just kind of spray at their cover, or like if there's a bunch of gunners lined up, you can actually stop them all from shooting. Like they'll get suppressed by the fire, and then they'll try to move around as they burn. So you're not going to be killing them outright, but you will get a couple kills here and there, and you will cause them to stop firing, which will give your team that space. And it's a really nice tool. Curios, I always run the same thing: max health, max stamina, and wounds, just because I like to have all my bases covered. It's just super easy. I can make every build using these three things, and I don't feel like I'm, really losing a whole lot of value. And then I just run, basic damage resistance versus stuff that I always get hit by, so like gunners, snipers. I really like at least one level of sniper resistance, just because it's gonna happen where a sniper's gonna like shoot you in the back of the head, and when it happens, you don't want to be, getting one tapped by it. So I think the 20% is huge, especially considering 20% of a larger number, such as the sniper's bullet, is like a huge amount of value. And then I took, like, in this case, stamina regen, because we're going to be doing a lot of like sprinting and pushing and stuff. So yeah. All right, let's see. So I went for Disdain. I went for left tree here, mostly because I have a lot of builds that do immolation grenades, and I wanted to kind of get away from that. So Disdain, yep, it's always up. Just hit enemies, you get damage. Super simple. And then if you're close to enemies, you get your toughness back, which is like, I'm always in melee, so of course I'm going to take that. Bleed for the Emperor, I like this because it can really help extend the length of your health bar. We only have 3 wounds, but I mean, I'm not really trying to take a whole lot of damage anyways, so this is just kind of nice to just sort of like eke out a little more value in every one of those wounds. I took it over replenishing toughness on heavy attack, because I'm not really doing a whole lot of heavy attacks. Unless I'm sniping armor, which in that case it still takes like multiple hits. It's just, 7.5 or 7.5% toughness, I feel like just isn't enough for my playstyle particularly. If you're spamming heavy attacks, by all means. Stun storm grenades. Yeah, I like them. They're fun. Great for clutch scenarios, obviously. Let's see. Duelist. I took Duelist because I'm always going to be dodging, most likely. And I want to have extra weak spot damage because I'm going to be trying to go for headshots, obviously. So, self-explanatory. The critical hit damage is like, just sort of an extra bonus. I took Until Death and Holy Revenant because I think this is really cool and unique to the Zealot. I just think it's like, makes me feel lore accurate, you know what I mean? And I just think it's really cool. I think it can really help with some clutch scenarios. I've noticed that like I'll have scenarios where, like, for example, I'll be trapped by a trapper or something, and or just like incapacitated in some way, and this extra 5 seconds can help be the difference that gets me up and back into the fight. Even though I'm like usually like 1 HP, but like that's enough. Like, it's better than being down. Like, I can still provide value to my team, and if I'm playing smart, I like don't have to worry about the 1 HP. And then this is just sort of just augment that and give me more health back, and even more clutch potential. Come over here. I don't really care about the Emperor's Bullet. It's kind of nice for like after you finish spraying a horde, you get impact and attack speed, but I don't really it's nice, but like it's not what the whole build is built around. I really came over here because Hammer of Faith for impact strength. That's really all it is. I want to be able to spam lights and knock people over. This is nice too, though. Damage resistance, just a nice supportive ability. No big deal. Over here, this is like stamina and like reload speed, which is like I'm not really going to be doing like a whole lot of gunplay. I'm just spraying hordes with the flamer and then reloading when I have time, so I'm not really worried about these two things. I like Beacon of Purity a lot over the toughness damage reduction, just because I think it's really unique, and I think it's nice to sort of help stretch out even more value from the wounds that we have, and for our allies as well. So I think that's really nice. Chorus Spiritual Fortitude. This ability is so good. It's just like, if you're in a scenario where you don't want to have to deal with something, like you just like, you know what, there's just too many specials on my screen, there's too much shit, you just press this button, and then all of a sudden you have like, it doesn't tell you in the tooltip here, but I don't know exactly how many pulses it is. I don't know, it feels like maybe like, I don't know, like 10 seconds of just, get away from me, and the entire time you're giving bonus max toughness to your team. So you can like, one of the biggest things I see is like, this will be the different. This will be what saves your teammate from like getting one tapped by a pox burster. It'll just take its toughness instead, which is super clutch, and it pushes them back. So it's like, it's amazing. Just like, I love it. It's only on a 60-second cooldown. You'll see I don't run any cooldown reduction, and you don't really need to. Like 60 seconds is not that long. You know what I mean? Like you can, and like if you want to, that's totally fine. You would have this thing up all the time, and you would be like literally invincible, which is totally cool. But I didn't take it because I wanted some other stuff. But let's see. So, I mean, you have to do that every time. Holy Cause, I went to augment it defensively rather than offensively because I just think that this is like, the way that I use it is as a defensive tool. So, I want it to be better at doing that. And I think that this gets a lot of value that way. Let's see. And then I came over here. So, there's good argument to be made about coming through a couple of these paths. I opted for more impact strength. I don't really care about uninterruptible. I'm not really doing a ton of heavy attacks, but like it's kind of nice. If you don't know, and I'm not 100% on this, but I think uninterruptible means that if I'm doing like a charge attack and somebody smacks me in the face, I don't drop the heavy attack. So that's nice, but like I don't really care. I'm really here just for the impact strength. So that's all there is to it. And then Master's Retribution. So I like this one a lot because of its synergy with my Flamer. So if you've used the Flamer, I'm sure that you run into a scenario where like you're flamering stuff and like there's like either a poxwalker that just like runs up through the flames and like punches you in the face, or you're in a scenario like an oh shit scenario where you're surrounded and like people are like bopping you in the back of the head. So that combined with, so this trait sort of alleviates that. You'll have the flamer out. You'll be like, okay, I'm gonna pinch. I need to flamer everybody. Someone will come up and smack you while you're setting it up because, as you also know with the flamer, it's very clunky to pull out. They'll smack you. You knock everybody back, and then they all get flamed, and it's like it feels great. Couple that too, if you can. I'm not one to really tell you to like what blessings to run because you can. There's a lot of really good ones, but I got lucky. This one has Inspiring Barrage. I get 4% toughness for every 10% magazine spent during continuous fire. So like if I'm just holding down the trigger, which I likely am with the flamer, I'm getting my toughness back. Combine that with the fact that if they're close to me, I'm getting my toughness back. And the fact that I can reduce toughness damage taken, and it's like no one's going to kill me while I have my flamer out. Combined with this as well, you know what I mean? So it feels really, really nice. It really opens up being able to use this in more scenarios where you might get punished for pulling it out, trying to pull it out quickly. That's one of the things I first noticed with the flamer is that it's like I can't pull this thing out in a pinch. So now I can, more or less. Let's see. Sustained Assault, just free damage. Just hit stuff, get damage. I love it. I really just came here for the Swift bonus. I think sprint speed is really useful because, as you can see, there's sort of a built-in weakness to this build, and it's that I don't have any like mid to long range tools to just like execute specials. As you can other than running up and beating them in the face or maybe flamering them, but like that's in a pinch, like you really can't pull this out and snipe them or something. So my only tool is going to be able to run at them. So this is really nice because trappers are fast and like pox bursters are fast and dogs are fast. So I want to be able to catch up with them and kind of handle them. And the momentum is nice because I'm usually always sprinting, and it's just free melee attack speed, range attack speed, and damage. And those stacks, they don't decay over time, so it's like in like small lulls of moments of inactivity. This is stacking up to 20 guaranteed, and then in the next fight it's back up. You know what I mean? So it's really nice. And then I got this because I'm always dodging. Just give me more stacks. This is nice because while I'm fighting, I want to be able to build up stacks even more and maintain these bonuses. And then if you want to get tankier, I don't think you need to because you have this and you have like regen, but and if you're in melee, you're also regenning from killing stuff. But you can if you want to, if you're having trouble surviving, or maybe you want to like be a bigger tank. I think an argument could be made for Faithful Frenzy and particularly Faith's Fortitude because adding +2 wounds combined with the talent over here to make your next wound reduced by 40 is like it really, you become very difficult to kill. You know what I mean? Yeah, like you have so many wounds and like you're just taking so little damage to your health, so it's gonna be very difficult to take you down. But yeah, that's why I want all this stuff here, and I think this build is really fun, and I think you'll see in the gameplay it turns out really well. It makes for some really dynamic scenarios. All right, into the gameplay. All right, here we are in the gameplay. So this is going to take a different format. It's going to be more like a narrated gameplay because I think that I play better when I don't speak, and I speak better when I don't play. So I think it'll be for the enjoyment of everybody. And I can also sort of like break down things a little better. Just blah blah blah, whatever.
Such heretics walk these streets.
But yeah, the game plan, I mean, it's the same fundamentals as, like, you know, you'll probably see me follow in most of my gameplay is going to be play around the team, understand what threats I'm best equipped for, positioning, blah, 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 whatever.
Be judged!
You'll see I used my ult pretty early there. Admittedly, I kind of saw a lot of shotgunners, and I was like, you know what? I like these guys kind of just chunk people, like especially when like they get the drop on you. Like maybe these guys weren't expecting to run into like 12 shotgunners or whatever. So I was like, you know what? 60 seconds, like just go ahead and let's just get that out of the way. I don't want anybody to start the game off like, you know, losing HP. Bad for morale, you know. This map is really fun. I think that this area is just it's so dynamic with like just how many like little crevices people can come approach you from. Yeah, you see, I pull back, I jump back down because I'm like, all right, let's get back with the team. I just kind of want to like always be around them. And then I realize I'm like, okay, there's a lot of specials. I just heard a trapper, but I didn't see one, and I'm scared, so I'm gonna pop this. Give everybody a second to breathe. I don't think that nade was necessarily the right call, but I just really wanted to make sure. Maybe the Psycho was holding that for a long time and they were gonna drop it. I don't know. It's kind of crazy just how fast shit can hit the fan though in this game. You know what I mean? Like this place was empty 2 seconds ago, and now look at this. Now, because this is narrated, you'll see, like, so here I am down here. I'm getting rizzed by this machine gunner because I'm not being patient and letting them finish their shooting. If you're a melee character, don't rush with the machine gunner. Just let him reload. But so our team pushes up here in the middle of this high-intensity scenario, which I don't think is the right call. Or they push up a little too far. Like, you'll see. I think Dutchy's going to go down here, and it's going to be a little questionable where he got caught out. He's right in the middle. So, and there's just gunners sort of just scattered all over the place. Me, I'm sticking to walls. You know what I mean? I want to always have like some form of cover. I don't like being in the middle, in the open. So we can push back here. There's just mutants up the ass. I'm getting scared. I see gunners everywhere. I'm like, all right. I don't have my ult up, so I opt to use grenades, stick to res, and then flamer everything in sight. Just clear out all this chaff. You may hear some clicking there. I didn't mute my desktop or something, so it was recording a bunch of like ambient noises. So you're gonna hear me like cough at one point as well, which is kind of funny. I push out there and I learned my lesson again. I'm like, okay, maybe I shouldn't run into machine gunners as much as I'd like to. I buffed the reload speed on my flamer, but you can see that even with the buff reload speed, it's still kind of slow. I mean, it's slow to pull out and slow to reload, so you gotta wait for quiet moments to be able to do that. And you gotta really partition that 32 rounds. Like, you know, people I think want to maybe spray like the entire magazine every time they pull it out, but you really don't need to. You may see me do that a couple times, but I think I learned my lesson in the middle. Bunch of crushes. I totally thought that overhand was going to kill somebody, and then I realized here that I'm like, okay, these guys are stunned. I don't need to just spam my crusher ult attack to like stagger them with one hit. So I start getting the headshots. I noticed, I saw the exclamation point that our guy got grabbed and I couldn't see him, so I pulled out that relic just so I could push forward and kind of check out on him and make sure he was doing alright. Kind of wish I had it right now though. You seen that sniper damage reduction? I would have gone down there if I didn't have that 20%. Look at how low my health bar is. Honestly, I would even consider running, taking away like another 20% from gunners and maybe going another 20% on snipers, just to like completely not have to worry about them. But I don't know. I feel like I'm getting shot by gunners so much more than a sniper, so maybe there's an argument to be made for sure. Shoving dogs feels great. If you don't know, shoving dogs is it feels amazing, and it's great to do. I pulled this out because I want to try and push these gunners, but then we get zoned out by the grenade, which is kind of unfortunate. So then I'm just back here trying to flamer them, and just kind of waiting for my team to shoot them, holding off specials and whatnot. Another good thing about positioning around walls closely is that it's likely that when a mutant grabs you, you're going to be not smashed into the ground in this sense anyway. Because if you don't know, if a mutant grabs you and they're close to a wall, they're just going to immediately throw you and not do their like triple slam or whatever. So I didn't even see these guys run out like that, but you know, it's okay. I'm up here to fix all the problems. So spray all these guys down. We stick the res because we're Chad. Although I'm pretty certain I'm gonna get eaten here. I'm like, okay. I know there's nothing behind me, so I'm like, all right. I just accept my fate. Figure out just kill some gunners while I'm here. And then it takes me a second. I'm like, oh, I can get out of here now. Clean up some of the chaff. Quick thing to think about here. So I think I've seen this before in other, like I think Vermintide videos talking about like enemy priority, but the boss is going to be your least priority because all it exists as, you need to imagine, it's just a wall. It's a big HP wall. It's not a kill threat. It's not going to one-tap your team. It's not going to, it's super, like look at this thing. It's literally a giant slug. It's fat, it's slow. It's going to corrupt you a little bit, but I mean, you know, if you have good positioning, that's not going to happen. I dodged that flame there, by the way. Now I can control a little bit. But so, yeah, I'm not really worried about the Beast and Herbal. As long as whoever has the aggro is keeping them occupied, I'm going to try and deal with all the things that are actually going to kill my team. Like trappers, flamers, snipers. Like, I mean, look at this. The back this is crazy. There's a horde. You know what I mean? So I'm going to do my best to clear out all those threats before I focus on the boss. And I think everybody else has the same idea as well. Here I could probably afford to... Oh no, I hear the pox burst, so I decided not to go for the boss. You can see I'm always trying to go back to the boss. I'm like, okay, now it's time. Whoever hit that barrel, a little sus, honestly. A lot of us are melee damage, so it's tough to get in there already with the goop. Here I learned that you can't stagger Beast and Nurgles with the relic. Unfortunate. Dutchy here's wondering where the damage is. Little does he know we really just started fighting this thing. I start sweating bullets here a little bit. I get really lucky that Trapper wasn't targeting me or else I would have been trapped. But yeah, look how slow the Beast and Nurgle is, by the way. I totally have time to sink this res. I focused the Zealot because he was the one that went on the ledge first, so I don't want, he's more likely to die. Dutchy has a little more time. But as you see here, it's becoming increasingly unlikely that we're able to get Dutchy. So now we're just back to clearing out the horde, making sure we don't get eaten by the Beast and Herbal. Just trying to clear everything out. Stay close to our teammate. I was kind of surprised that the Beast and Herbal wasn't like up in our face that entire time. I guess it just started eating box lockers. Lucky for us. And I'm like, alright, this thing's low, I want this thing off. I get tired of getting barfed on though, so I'm like, you know what? Die in holy fire. Bot goes down, I try to buff so we can get the res, and then I realize the teammate's not by, so I'm like, alright. There's my cough. I sound so like I got corrupted somehow by the Beast and Herbal. I was really hoping that Beast would charge me, but you get that heavy attack straight to the face, but there it is. Yeah, I get hit by a sniper again. That damage resistance, man. You know, and say what you will, you know, just get good dodges snipers. But hey, man, you know, you can't always be perfect. Like, I see people, like, they run 2 wounds, and I'm like, dude, I don't know about that. Like, you have to be on your shit to have 2 wounds. Because all it takes is, like, a little bit of chip damage. Maybe you get pounced on a hound for too long. Just something to corrupt that first health bar. Maybe a Pox Burster. And then now you're, like, you're just so easy to kill. Like, one more Pox Burster, and it's game over. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so easy to kill you after that. Like, your health bar is so small. And I don't know. I mean, like, if you want to opt for putting more points in like damage or whatever, but like or something. I don't know. I don't know what else you would with the trinkets, like, because you're only going for like survivability with the trinkets. So it's like, what do you got more max HP? Like that doesn't matter if it's all corrupted. I don't know. Like I don't think you're trolling if you're running 2, but I find it difficult to justify. I think 3 is like such a sweet spot. You know, like 3 strikes you're out. Here, I should have shoved here to save him from the trapper. That would have been wiser, but it's fine. But yeah, no, now this guy got trappered for a little too long. He went down, and now look, he's got 1 Pox Burster, and he's out of the game. I don't know. Suppressing the... Notice how they can't shoot me? Because they're getting flamered. This could be because the perk that staggers them. I'm not entirely sure. I'd like to think that the fire suppresses them no matter what, but that could be something to... maybe if you try to use it and you notice it's not working, that could be the case, because I'm running the stagger perk. My stun nade sucks here. my angle did not work out there. I'm like, alright, I just start flaming all the chaff. I start noticing, I'm like, okay, this is getting a little crowded.
There can be no mercy.
We're surrounded, I'm like, alright, get the toughness up, give people some time to deal with some stuff, realize that there's a crusher behind them. And then a fundamental I like to follow as well is, like, in times of stress, I'm always going back to the space that we've put out previously. Now, it may not be guaranteed safe, because there are going to be specials, and in some cases it's going to be a horde behind you, but, you know, you at least know that you're not running into, like, more enemies, you know, to a certain point. Like, if I were to run forward, you know, there could be just other hordes of enemies already stationed there, and that might be the straw that breaks the camel's back. So yeah, we're just backtracking. We're just kind of trying to play for our lives right now. I'm getting a little far away from the team, but I would make this decision again, this positioning. I like being able to back up. I know there's always going to be shooters on that street, as far as I know. You know what I mean? If I back up, and you know, there's melee enemies, but like, you know, I'm a beast. You know, I got the crusher, I got the flamer. Like, I'm not scared of a melee fight. You know. My team follows suit. Super lucky for me. I was super relieved to see, like, oh, the cavalry's here. Like, everybody's back. I can protect them. Something I've noticed with the relic is that it gives you time to sort of ping out the biggest threats in the area. I always try to focus on pinging the trappers, the dogs, and the Pox Bursters while I have my own out. And look, we survived. That was a tough fight. I'm like, ooh, health kit. If nobody's using it, you know what I mean? I was actually having a lot of fun this game. I remember I wanted to tell my team that because I was just feeling it. It's been like some of these orc missions, like I've been playing a lot of the same build, and so it gets a little methodical. Not in a bad way though. Like, you know, there's no shortage of like competent players in this game, so it's like, you know, it's always nice like when the team is playing efficiently, and you know, you kind of just, I don't want to call it a stomp, but some of these orc missions, it's kind of like you can leave it and be like, wow, that was an orc. Like, that was easy, you know. So it's nice to kind of have some of these more dynamic situations, difficult fights. I don't know, really enjoyable. Like, I don't play Damnation Auric missions because I want the game to be easy. You know what I mean? I want it to be engaging and fast-paced and intense and challenging. I like good stuff. Here I'm like, oh great. You may be wondering why am I not using my special to like stagger these guys. It's because I know I'm gonna like try and leave this room, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to stick around and be fighting these guys in this room when something comes up behind me. So I'm just trying to backtrack, do as much damage as I can before I can get back to my team, and maybe we can all deal with this. And then I see that like, oh, we're all getting bombarded by specials. I don't know how that. Oh, you know what? That's because I had this bonus stuff. But I lived 2 overheads. That's crazy. I don't know how. I really don't know. The second one I know how, but the first one where he like came to the doorway, I don't know how I caught that. But I'll take it. You know what I mean? Horde is approaching. I'm like, okay, maybe we need to like position somewhere else. So I'm giving some suggestions. I'm like, okay, and then I realize, okay, they're not doing that. Maybe over here. Okay, they're not doing that. All right, I'll just I'll just deal with the third right from me. I hear the down, and I'm like, I thought it was the guy in front of me, and then I'm like, oh, the Horde came from behind. Throw out the res. Unfortunately, I could not stick it. I was really hoping they would all burn to death, but. We had this stealth zealot on our team that was like, he was such a Chad. He was playing like a stealth like support build, where like I only saw this dude use stealth to like get reses, and it was so sick. I love when people do that, dude. The stealth support is such a cool idea. I run it myself when I play veteran as well. Like I see a lot of players like when they'll use stealth in the way that you would imagine, like very selfishly to like go like set up some like I shouldn't say it's inherently selfish, but it's not necessarily a detriment to the team because like they're stealthy so that they can one-shot like the biggest threat in the room, which is like that's what a rogue does in like traditional like class breakdown or whatever. You know what I mean? So like I get it. People want to play that and it's really cool. Totally fine. I'm just saying sometimes you can definitely afford to use a stealth to get a res, and I like that some people have seen that and made builds around just doing that, which is always great. I opt to suppress these guys with my flamer. You can see, look, I'm not getting shot at. I mean, besides by the sniper. And then look, I give them a couple seconds and now they start shooting. And the bot is like in there. But yeah, look, now the build stopped for the most part. I get juked by that mutie pretty hard. I gotta say, the Crusher kind of feels bad to kill mutants with. Like, the lights don't like really chop it up too quick, and like the heavies, like you can kill it with the heavies, but I don't know. They're just beefy. Like on my veteran, I run like a brittle like combat axe, and it like chops those guys to pieces. So going from that to this kind of feels not amazing, but it is what it is. Look at how long it took us to take this space, though. Like it took us like I don't know, maybe like 10 minutes to get across this road. That's crazy. Like not, I don't think the team's bad by any means. It's anything. It's speaking of the difficulty of this game. There was just so much shit. And then here I hear gunners popping off, and I'm like, no. Like I'm not. Gunners rip people apart, so I'm like, nope, we're not having any of that. Just suppress them, let the team deal with it. Like I'm trying to keep everybody's health bar nice and free. It's only like it's a 60-second cooldown, so and it's made to be used for your team more than yourself. So you know you should have that mentality as well. Get wrecked. I think one of my personal favorite things to do is to shove dogs on every character. Especially when they're like pouncing at you. It's so much fun.
Take your corruption from this place, mutants.
A good tip I've noticed for when you're playing a melee character is that if you're in a scenario where like you hear a Poxburster or you hear a Hound and you know they might be coming up on you, just hold the block button. Like the Horde isn't really gonna break through your block that fast. Like if all it takes is like one shove and then you're pretty much chilling. Just take a second, hold the block button, and just kind of peer over the Horde. Like there's a reason that the Poxbursters or walkers and stuff are like just a little bit shorter than you in this game. Like I don't know if you've noticed, but they're all a little bit small in stature so that you can look over them and see potential threats coming over the horizon or whatever. Hounds are kind of difficult because sometimes they can like sneak in through all their knees and shit, but if you have some map knowledge and you know where they're like likely spawning or like where they might be coming from, you can get an edge and prepare yourself for the upcoming pounce or trapper or whatever. Poor bot.
Help me!
Soldier needs a hand!
even with the bot, you got to practice releasing your friend with the trap before you deal with the trapper. I think that may sound counterintuitive, but it's so quick and easy to get your teammate back in the fight, and then you can deal with the trapper like, you know, they're not running away particularly quick because they're like reloading or whatever. So, and well, not to mention, it's just for the sheer enjoyment of my teammates. Like, I hate being stuck in the trap, and I know that everybody else does too. Especially when you know that it only takes like 2 seconds to release you, or like not even 2 seconds, like literally a second to release you from the trap. And that could be, like, I've seen so many runs lost because people do not stick on trap saves. Like, it makes no sense to me. We get kind of stuck in a rock and a hard place there. Look. Just immediately goes and gets him up. Look how fast that was. Like, there was gunners and shit out there, but like, he didn't even care. It took literally a second. Alright, so I hear the hordes coming. I'm like, ooh, this is the perfect time to burn everything in this hallway. I get really lucky. I didn't think I would stagger this box burster. I just kind of thought I would die right there. And then I'm like, okay, the horde's coming. We need to get our ass against the wall. And so, luckily, like, this team is so smart, dude. Everybody just naturally, like, I'm the last one there, and I look, and like everyone's already against the wall, ready to fight this horde. And I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Like, that's awesome. Here we see Until Death pop off. Saves me from taking it down there in a crucial moment. The Psyker may have had to drop my lucky there to help me. Or my teammates who run left here might have had to do something about that, which would have been terrible. But instead, I'm up. And you see there as well, the Relic saved my teammate from taking that box burster damage.
No more beauty!
I'm like lagging behind the gameplay here, man. There's too much going on. We shove dogs in this house. I hear gunners, so I'm like, ooh. Maybe play their moment? No, like, nah, they beat him up. I see bulwarks, and I miss the grenade there on the ground, and I get like busted on like trying to open up their shields that I get down, unfortunately. But it's alright, there's no horde, it's just like a couple bulwarks, so I'm not really like too worried. And then look, Giga Chad, stealth. Unfortunately, he gets caught by the Tox Flamer, but still, it's a thought that counts. What an absolute Chad.
There can be no mercy.
And then because I went down, I just kind of want to, like, alright, you know what, just, here, take this. Just being super safe. Like I said, I use it defensively more often than not. The best offensive uses I've seen for the Relic is like if you're offensively pushing into gunners and you want to suppress them while you approach them. Like, I can totally see a case for running like offensive Relic and then running into a group of gunners and then using the damage bonus you get by holding it fully to like assassinate all the gunners in like one quick strike or whatever. Or even like, you know, like attacking a boss or whatever, like chewing down a boss. It's gonna be great for that. Stun the boss, give your team a damage buff, and then mow down the boss. It's so cool that there's like such it's a lot more versatile than you may think. And I think that's really cool. My E-button gets a little weird there. It like doesn't register or some shit. Hard focus the dog there because nobody likes getting eaten. Similar with trappers, it's like it's so easy to not, like stop a dog from eating your teammate. Like literally just go shove them or like shoot them. Or well, actually, not all guns stagger them though. So I would say that it's kind of tough. You have to know if your gun's gonna stagger them or not, because I've seen like veterans, like they'll have like a recon las gun. They'll be right next to the guy pounced, and instead of pointing out their melee weapon and shoving, they'll just sit there and shoot it in the back of the head. And like, it may not seem like a huge deal, and it really isn't at the end of the day. I'm just saying, like, for the enjoyment of the other players, and for the sanity of your teammates, just shove them. You know what I mean? Just get them up. You know, I don't know. That's me. Like, I'm not gonna like think you're a bad player if you don't do that. That's just me though. You know what I mean? That's like my what's the word, man? What's the word of that? Conscientiousness? Like I accidentally saved everybody from that fire. Like if you saw there, Espresso would have literally died if I didn't pull out that relic. I didn't know what was happening. I just heard a bomb go off, and I was like, all right, I'm a little scared here. I just pop out the relic. Unintentionally saved the team a lot of damage there. But you know. I like to think that's a W. That's like a programming W. I program my brain to like pop the relic in a scenario where I'm like not even that comfortable, and I know it's gonna come back relatively soon. And there's yeah, as you can see, there's a benefit. If you guys ever played like the original Dragon Age, it had a system where like you could program your teammates as sort of like AI, where it was like if X happens, they do this, and it was really cool because I try to think of myself in that light when I play this game as well, where it's like, you know, when X variable shows up, I react X way. So like scenario I'm not comfortable with, press F if it's up. You know what I mean? Like it's as simple as that. And the fun part is making a set of decisions that like is good. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't end in a loss. I use my ult here and I ping the res because like maybe we can push out to get the res, but then my ult runs out. So I'm like, all right, I'll just have to wait for the ult to come back up. Okay, here, boom. Don't even care about anything else. Just grab the guy. Look at how quick that was. I would see guys that would try to kill the trapper, and then like they get caught and like they try to kill the trapper. Like, okay, trapper's dead. But then like, oh, a shotgun, and they try to kill the shotgun. And it's like they just get in this constant list of like, where is like your teammate should be on the top of that priority list. You're running down all these other priorities that don't matter as much. Like that don't bring as much value, and like that would result in a loss. Like killing the shotgunner is not as important as getting your teammate back up, because that's like a crucial part of staying alive in the game and not losing around. I get a little impatient. I see my ult is almost back up, so I'm like, I can probably stick this. I get really lucky. I don't know how I'm not getting shot, but I do get a little sketch because I took some toughness damage, so I'm like, you know what, my ult's up. I'm just going to like do this, and then I'm going to stick the res. Not super necessary, but you know, it was kind of a dynamic scenario, and I was kind of like, I want to push back to the main objective, and I noticed my teammates aren't moving, so I'm like, all right, let's try and grab their attention and get them over here. And then I noticed my dude's alone over here, so I'm like, all right, 2 and 2 is better than 3 and 1, so I guess I'll be over here with him. I think those guys were sticking there because they had a better angle of fire on those range enemies, so not a bad play on their part. I just wasn't expecting it. I try to test out to see if maybe my flamer can reach further, and then I end up trolling and see the I'm not holding the line here. But now we know. We know that it doesn't reach, so we'll never have to do that again. Unfortunately, I'm out of ammo here, so my flamer is now.
There can be no mercy.
Has to be reloaded. I push out here because I'm like, maybe I can like get in these gunners, and then I hear like 4 shotgunners. I'm like, all right, nah. I'm like, all right, I'll back to the hidey hole. Like, that ain't happening. If I had my flamer, I could totally pull it out and burn them, but it wasn't reloaded, so. I felt bad about that. A single pox booster got in and one-tapped that guy, but you know, I wanted to reload my flamer because that would have meant that the shotgun was bad. So if you didn't know also, something that you can do if you have stealth is you can stealth and then do these objectives, which I was kind of expecting him to do at some point. There wasn't really enough time to like type that out. I could use voice comms, but I just honestly I forget about the button bind. I never bind it. But you can totally just stealth and like stick the thing there, and that would have made this a lot easier. No big deal though. Like no shit, no flame on that guy or whatever. Like I love the way that he's using it, so he just doesn't know that it interacts that way.
You are certain you installed the data interrogator correctly?
Yeah, I was getting a little tired of that not being done, so I was like, alright, let me just stick it. Here I debated, I saw that he didn't see the Fox Burster, and I was like debating on using my ult to try and like go over to like help him out. And I just decided not to. I think I thought I was like, dude, maybe I'll need to, like he's maybe gonna die, and I can at least have this up to like res him as soon as he's up. So I took that instead of the gamble that maybe he'll live, and then I won't have ult and he'll die anyways. And yeah. But yeah, so I see he's up here soon, and so as soon as I see that he's up, I hope that yeah, okay, so I ping, I'm like, hey guys, let's push. I'm really glad that, like I was gonna do it anyways, but I'm really glad that they followed me. I just pinged so that they knew what I was trying to go for, and they picked up on it, which was really cool. And then we get the res, and boom, look at that, 10 seconds gone, and he's back in the fight. Super easy. Another thing about priorities is that I've seen people like try to prioritize, like in this case, the hacking over the res, and I'm like, that makes no sense to me. It's like the hack can get done whenever, but like the res, like that's actively, like you have 3 players, like that's one less person that needs to go down before the run ends. So I don't know. And like also that's another entire player that can't help deal with all the myriad of problems that's about to appear in the next like 10 seconds. You know what I mean? So it's just I'm always focusing reses. It's like a no-brainer in my head. And over the course of these videos, I mean, you're gonna hear me harp on that like every single video because that's how important it is. Like I'm sorry, like fundamentals, it's like the fundamental. Here, I make the decision. I'm like, okay, I don't want the body to go down. Like, there's fire and there's a bunch of people there, so like, I don't think anybody's gonna be able to stick with res, and not that I would want them to, because if you res somebody in fire, it's like kind of unnecessary damage. So I just ult there to kind of keep the body alive as long as possible, so we can get the res afterwards. This scenario was kind of weird. I was like, oh, I'm not taking damage, and then I'm like, oh shit. And then, all right, I guess I'll get this guy up. Kind of took a gamble there that the fire was going to go out when it did. I was like, it's going to go out soon, right? And luckily it did right as he got up.
All things heretical are best encountered from a distance, including you.
Watch it! Sharpshooter!
If you see my teammates super chads there, they stand in front of the bullets so I can get the hack off. These guys, like, this is one of the best teams I've had in a long time. Like, these guys are awesome. Love to see that kind of play. You know, I think that this comp, like people's builds here too, really worked in tandem because we have like the Bio Lightning guy, like supplying CC and control, along with me supplying CC and control, and like a decent amount of damage. Like the Bio Lightning guy, it's also doing damage. Like it's not like crazy like face melting DPS, but you know what I mean. Here we push towards the Medicae because I'm like, okay, we have 2 charges and like look at our health bars. This is something I kind of wanted to harp on at the beginning of this, but I was talking about something else. Is that when an event starts off, it's like that Medicae. Like I know that this event, like I'm not gonna have time to come back over here. Like this is one of the first times in a long time when I played this mission that we came back from the Medicae. If you're going into the mission or going into this final event, grab the Medicae. Like whatever your health is at, grab the Medicae. Like I'm not of the mind of wait until like I have a wound or something. It's like no, I'm trying to strive for protection. Put yourself in the best possible scenario to succeed by giving yourself all of your HP, and then play out the scenario and then move forward. Like I feel like starting like some dudes might start this with like 1 wound or 2 wounds and be like, well no, I'll save it. Like it's like nah man, just use the shit and then be at max strength because this is gonna be the hardest part of the level likely. Here you see we even left a Medicae because these guys just want to get the fuck out of here. So, oh, and then the elevator breaks, and the pox burst doesn't blow up, and I was like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. You see me just spamming shove. I was like, just get out. And then I'm like, oh man, it might be one of those glitches where like I have to leave and then hop back in or something. So I like running in and out a couple times, and then it works.
I trust the recipient of this transmission is a good, loyal servant.
I was really feeling this run at this point. You can probably tell that the teammates may not have been by looking at their health bars and their ammo, and I'm just like spamming like for the Emperor and shit. But I was having a good time. Like I liked the team. I think everybody was playing really well. It was a hard mission, obviously. But
Be judged. The power of faith.
I don't know why I popped my ult. I think that was sort of the downside of using it liberally or whatever you want to say, or maybe not super conservatively. Because here, look, I'm like, okay, but now we need to back up to this boss. And look, my teammates blocked off by the fire, and then they both just get one tapped by the chaos spawn. I'm like, okay. So now the game plan is we're not going to be able to kill a chaos spawn anytime soon. So it's going to be kite the chaos spawn, kill everything else, and then go get the res as fast as possible. No biggie, this guy's a Chad, he knows. If you get grabbed by a chaos spawn, don't let your teammate get eaten by them. Walk up and like bait out the melee attack, and then they'll throw the chaos spawn will throw them away. I get thrown in the opposite direction of my teammates, and I see that my teammates are up, so I make the decision to go get the reses. I'm like, okay, like, because we're not going to be able to kill the chaos bomb, like I said. So this is the farthest I'll be away from that guy and the biggest space I'll get to be able to go get those reses. And so luckily it pays off. I pop this, I get him up as fast as possible. Even cancel my ult to do so. Because that's how important getting people out of traps is. And then I think he's going to try and stick the res, and I know he is, so I'm like, I hope he gets it, but I saw there was a bomber, so I'm not... If he doesn't get it, I'll understand why. And he doesn't, which is fine. So I'm like, okay, that's fine, I'll just go get it. I take my time. When the trapper shows up, they're kind of weird. I always try to let them do their trap and just dodge it, like just chill out, hold block, let them do their trap, and then rush it and kill them. Because if you're a melee character, try to run up and beat them in the face, it often happens that they're going to trapper you like at point blank, even if you dodge, and it's like really janky. And then as soon as that's over, I come back and take out this guy out. Like maybe we can focus the gas bomb. Kind of sus. I didn't know if I was going to be able to get out there, but I did not want to go in that room and get not explored yet.
Your hands off me, bitch.
Be judged.
Give me up.
Give the team some toughness, try and get the res. No biggie that we don't get it that quick. It's like, okay, you know, the chaos bomb's right on top, so maybe we'll get it.
Didn't expect to see you, Zealot.
He gets grabbed, I immediately go up to try and cancel this, and then back up because, yeah, you know that's coming. It's always like, I think it's like 3 swings and then a throw, so just wait for the 3 swings and then come in and punish him. And then, dude, I think it's our stealth zealot, dude, or veteran. He brings crack grenades that I had not seen all game. And I know why, because he had saved every single one for a moment like this, where like you need to blow up a boss in like 2 seconds. And it was amazing. That was so sick. Like immediately when I saw it, I was like, where have these been all game? And then I was like, oh, it's for that. It's that right there is where it's been all game, to kill bosses. Which is super cool. I never even thought about that. Like I saw how much damage they did to bosses, but I always use them like as a way to like have a crutch against Carapace if I didn't want to build around dealing with Carapace. But you see that guy, he took it a different direction, and I think it's fucking awesome.
The power of faith.
Man, this was such a sick game actually. I love watching this shit. Mostly because it also gives me a better opportunity to observe what my teammates are doing that maybe stuff I missed while I was in the game.
Healing. Perhaps you will not be martyrs.
I'm like, oh, I see gunners. I get kind of, I forget here though. There's a right little, to my right, look at this. Boom, there's like a little open area that gunners can be, and I'm like, oh, I totally forgot about that. So I back up. After trying to suppress everybody. And then we get hit by like, just like a complete onslaught of specials out of nowhere. I'm like, oh shit, oh shit. That dude kind of scared me, I'm not gonna lie. Espresso managed to dodge it though. Yeah, yet again, dude. I'm like, what? Where are these dudes coming from? You know, we keep our head though. I was glad that we didn't go down there. You know, I think like if I'm like, you know, playing as the Ironbreaker Zealot, if you guys have played Darktide 2, Barden, his like sort of attitude during the gameplay was like jolly, and like, you know, you couldn't get his spirits down, and like, you know, he'd be like bashing in rats' faces while like singing songs and shit. So I tried to emulate that here. You know, I'm the one holding the relic. You know, I gotta keep the spirits high. It's not only my job to keep the health bars of my teammates high, but it's my job to keep the spirits of my teammates high. So I try to do that through cheers and, you know, being a lad. Yeah, heavy armor, pop the ult, let my teammate deal with it. The scenario when a Poxbuster doesn't blow up, it's always like a who's good at defusing the bomb scenario. It's so much fun, actually. It's like a horrible game of hot potato where, you know, you're like, if you're a melee clash, you're like, do I go in and shove it, or is like somebody gonna shoot it? And everybody's just like, charge these gunners, trying to get them to stop shooting. I could have flamed them too, but I just kind of wanted to snag stuff. And I really didn't expect there to be that many. Yep, ultimate already back up, man. Ultimate already back up. That was so fast. You know, I wonder if my my Psyker is running the cooldown reduction. Maybe I'm getting spoiled here. I don't know. I didn't inspect the beginning of the game here, which I normally do. Almost walk into fire. Classic.
Judgment has been delivered. Mercy comes for you, Buster.
Hear my nasal breathing. I'm living in Virginia, and I think so. I have allergies, but it's not like horrible. But like there's like this like ever so subtle nasal congestion that is always present ever since I moved to Virginia. I think it's just my body is like not totally used to this, and so it's just sort of always a little bit stuffed. Kind of sucks, honestly, but it's you know it's not like by any means I'm not like suffering greatly or anything. It's a little annoying though. Like I obviously you may have noticed that I'm sniffing a whole lot. That's the cause. Alright, final area.
Come, let us tend our wounds.
You know, these funnel areas, I really enjoy them, but you know, part of me like I like the idea like if you're playing with friends it's a lot easier to sort of like theory craft, but I like to kind of try and play around different setups because I always play up here, and like in this scenario I think I tell my team to play up here, and like I position up here as well, but I kind of like seeing alternative hold strats, you know what I mean? Like it's actually fun to sort of experiment. Like because you guys might have played the carnival map, and if you've seen there's already sort of like an emerging like meta of where to hold out, like right where you like come into the arena, like you hold out right there, like maybe like a Psycho Run bubble or whatever. Oh, by the way, watch this. Until death pops, and you'll never guess, this guy actually gets the trap opened before I go down, and now I'm back in the fight. And now instead of 2 downs, we have 1 down. And I think we can actually get this other one because now I'm up. If that doesn't sell you on Until Death, I don't know what does. That's twice now in this mission that, you know, that could have been an L right there. And then I immediately hard charge for the metacam. Like, I'm not going down. I'm not playing on 1 HP right now. My teammate's health bars be damned. I don't know. I don't think I took it when I got in there, so I think that was mine that I took. So I would be hard pressed to take another one. Arguably, I would never take another one, but depends. Was it? Oh yeah, but so yeah, you can kind of already see like, and it annoys me when like you're playing and like people die hard or like you have to play this hold or else we're gonna lose. It's like, I don't know about that, man. This is a skill-based game. Like any build can work and any setup can work. Like obviously, you know, you might be trolling if you were to like play like right next to an enemy spawn. Like yeah, okay, but you could do it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I like to experiment on results. Especially with different team comps and stuff.
We need that data interrogator working.
Like here, with how much control we have, it might be better for us to take a position that only has like 1 area of entry, but maybe it's like in the low ground or something. Because we don't really care about having like high sight lines. Because we have like a flamer and bio light. Look, out of the trap. That would have been a down. Out of the trap. And then this part is a little sus. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stick to res. I got the stun off. Trapper comes. I'm like, I didn't even see him. And then I look behind me and I'm like, oh, I guess everybody thought I had it or something. I don't know. Or maybe they thought they like had it like the objective or something. I don't know. It was a little sus, but it's fine. He uses both charges to take the res. What an absolute G. I'm like, and then I just pop ult here because I'm like, I want to get out of here. I like to use it after I come off a res because I like to sort of put my team in a. You're always kind of in a compromised position after getting a res because usually you're out of position. So I like to sort of alleviate that. Like give me the space we need to get back into position, which as you saw, Violet sort of took care of as well. Like I think me and him are using our abilities in a similar light. I think we both have a mind of like, all right, we need to reposition, control everything for a second.
Cover me!
Gotcha! Cover the Zealot!
I will commend you in my prayers, Templar.
I remember I was like, nah, I'm not waiting for that one. So I just redid it. And then I think I ping up here, like, let's go up here, guys. So I'm kind of being the guy that I was talking shit about. Because admittedly, when I was running this, I wasn't thinking about it like I am right now. Which is kind of why I like having this narrative gameplay. And then, luckily, I don't be the guy that's like, we have to do this, and I don't frame my team. Like, why are we doing this? We're trolling. I just adapt and I play around the team. Because I'm like, okay, they want to play around the meta game. You know what I mean? So I will give myself points for that one, for not being die-hard, whatever. It was more like a friendly suggestion, really, you know what I mean? And then, yeah, it ends up like working out. Like, I think we end up actually playing better here in this area. That dude gets stoned right before he bodies me. I actually got a little spooked, though, and I think I fucked up my hack. But yeah, I go back to being hype, get trapped. I don't know how that guy didn't hit me, but I'll take it. And then yeah, I'm just kind of looking to like use my flamer. And that's really all she wrote, man. I mean,
there can be no mercy.
That was a great game. I had a lot of fun playing it. I thought it was really action-packed. I thought it showed off not only what I think my build does really well, but I think it also showed off with like these guys in my team. They're cooking right now. You know what I mean? The celebratory flamer. That's like one of my favorite parts about it. The celebratory like fire show. You gotta do it. Maybe some fireworks and some stun grenades. But yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I hope you guys thought it or found this video helpful, enlightening, invigorating, blah blah blah. I hope you enjoyed whatever you ate when you watched this, because I know you probably did that. Yeah, all right. Have a good one, guys.